Hello and welcome to the Beyond the Essential Oil Recipe Summit. I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer, and if you're watching on Facebook Live, make sure you click like and share right now because we have the lovely Marge Clarke from Nature's Gift. I'm so pleased to see you, Marge.
Hey, Elizabeth, thank you for inviting me. This is a treat.
Oh, well, I've got to tell everybody how nervous you've been, and I think you're being incredibly brave doing this because you've had a rough few days, haven't you, with your IT and stuff?
Oh, Mercury retrograde.
Yes, everything goes wrong.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong this week.
Marge,
but we're here.
Yeah, this is going to be your turning point. Now, I'm sure there's nobody who doesn't know who you are, but just in case, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be where you are today?
Okay, my background in the early 90s, I was disabled and told I would never work again. And that gave me the opportunity to study my two passions. Number one, the essential oils, which were new to me.
Yeah.
And there was very little to study. There were a few books. I had them all. And online communication. I had been online since the early 80s, but the World Wide Web was new to me.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to do that. So I started writing websites, and because I had to learn how to.
Yeah.
And what would I write about? Well, the oils. What else? And I was making blends for friends, and they'd say, "This is really good. I want some more." Well, I've got to buy more ingredients, give me some money, and then you can have more.
Yeah.
Or I had this lavender, let's say, and I'd find a different one, and it was better. So I had to sell what I had so I could buy better. And that was in the early mid-90s. And I'm still doing that today, selling what I have so I can buy more, or finding better and making it available to people.
So you're like me, you're just an oils junkie, really.
Oh, yeah, an oil junkie and an internet junkie. And that's a bad combination.
Yeah, you know what it really is, isn't it? There's no life outside for us then. And so, when did you start Nature's Gift?
Nature's Gift went online in 1995.
Wow.
And the only reason it had a name, there was one company in 94 that I wanted to buy from. And at that time, they said, you have to have a business license. Well, who wants a business license? I didn't, but I had to buy from them. And, well, to do that, you have to have a name. And I sat there with a friend, and we brainstormed for 3 hours, and Nature's Gift was the right name.
And it is the right name. I absolutely love that name, I have to say. Whenever I think about it, I think that's such a beautiful name for an oils company.
Well, it fits.
It really does.
It's what the oils are.
Yeah.
And then I went on to study. I've studied with a lot of different teachers. Jade Schutz, Kathy Duffy at the Jane Buckle Associates Clinical Aromatherapy, Mark Webb, Robert Tissery, and of course, over and over and over. I forget who else. But my best teachers really have been our clients.
Yeah.
Because we have clients that have been with us for over 20 years.
Wow, that's remarkable. Yeah.
And the clients that we know will write to me and say, this is what was going on. I used this oil and the result was whatever. This hurt, I used this oil, it stopped hurting. That's simple. And I keep track of that. I keep a record of that. And when I share one client's experience, And I do that a lot. I always have permission. I'm not going to take your email and put it out there unless you say, yes, share it. People need to know this.
Yeah.
And then other people write in and say the same thing has happened.
Yeah.
We have a body of knowledge that we're not going to find in research.
No, I agree with that. I think the world has gone a bit clinical practice mad, hasn't it? And in actual fact, it's the people using the oils have got a huge amount of knowledge to share. And
we need the balance. We need the scientific research and the publications to give us validity. Yep. But we have to have research done when 50 people have said Ravensara aromatica and a base of tamanu helps their shingles. Helps reduce the inflammation. Yes. Releases. Kirchner has taught that for years. Other people are teaching it now. It works, but there's no research. No. We have to find a way to fund research so that we can legally say this will work. Yes. Because any experienced aromatherapist knows that this works. Yeah. It's well known, but we can't, because there's no big pharmaceutical dollars behind us. We can't get the research. But anyway, that's a lot of how I've learned.
And you're very interested, like I am, in the emotional side of things as well as the physical side, aren't you? Yes, and that's lovely to me, because I think that underlies disease to a huge extent, and I think that's really where the power of essential oils lives. What are you doing right now, Marge? What are you sniffing?
This is a little amphora, a piece of therapy jewelry.
What's it made of?
And, pardon me? It's blunt glass. It's blunt glass.
Oh, is it? It's so pretty. Yeah.
And it should have a cork in the top. It started out today with a cork in the top. The cork fell out somewhere. It may be in my lap. It may be in my car. The cork is missing. But it has just a few drops of a blend that I will talk about later.
Great.
That I haven't used for years. But it's a blend for anxiety. Beautiful. And with my email program not working, and with personnel changes, and with just a lot of stressful things going on this week, I thought, anxiety, that's what I need. So that's what I'm sitting here. This is what you do for the emotional benefit of an oil.
Yeah.
You inhale it. You can put it in one of those little personal inhalers. Does everybody know what those are, or should I pull one out from my purse?
No, I did a little video, the little sniffy sticks, I call them.
Yes, sniffy sticks.
I did a video on them yesterday, and I said, does anybody actually know what these are called?
They are personal inhalers.
There you go. Yeah, I think they're fantastic.
In the U.S., there's a company called Vicks. They do vapor
rubs.
That's
it. They're the vapor rubs, exactly.
They do Vicks inhalers, and they look like this.
Yeah.
And you do that. And this is one I use for my COPD because I have breathing problems.
Like me, yeah.
And I smoked for 50 years. But this is for the emotional benefit of the oils. You want to inhale it. We won't go, I'm sure somebody else in this series is going into how inhaling affects the brain.
Do you know what? Nobody has actually. So let's talk about that.
Well, I'm not.
I will do a video later then.
But for emotional benefits.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants to give me a lovely stress-relieving massage, that's wonderful. Yep. But if all I've got is me and my oils, This is how you get the emotional benefit. You inhale them.
Beautiful. And so where's
And
your starting point of helping people choose which ones to go for?
What is my starting point? You have to study them. You have to know which ones are good for stress, which ones are good for anxiety, which ones are good for grief. Or you ask a trained clinician, this is what is going on, what else do you have? And then you look at what you like.
Yes.
If you don't like florals, rose may not work for you. If you love the conifers, the evergreens, then say for stress, you'd look at black spruce.
Yeah, so talk about a few conifers, because I have to say I never go for conifers. So that's interesting, because I'm a floral girl through and through. So laziness on my part completely. So you'd go black spruce, would you?
Black spruce is my most used conifer.
Oh, is it?
I start to say it's my favorite, and I think there's white fir, there's dwarf pine.
I know, yeah.
But black spruce, for me, and this isn't the talk, this isn't one of the oils we're covering.
No, I told you I'd go off script, but I'm fascinated. So, do you know, the only thing I ever know about black spruce is I know I would use it for underactive thyroids, but apart from that, nothing. So what else can you tell me about black spruce?
Okay, I am told that it is supportive of the adrenal gland. I think it would be helpful for long-term stress. I'm going to tell you a story about black spruce, though, which may tie in not to stress, but the adrenal fatigue. Right. At one time, several years ago, I had pneumonia. I was over it. I could not get my strength back. If I got up and made my bed, I had to lay down on the bed because making the bed exhausted me.
That's exactly what I was like.
Lay down.
People underestimate lungs, don't they?
Yeah, recuperating from pneumonia can do that. By the same token, I could not get enough black spruce. I was diffusing it 24/7. I was putting it in, I couldn't get enough. I didn't want to ingest it. Aha! I had black spruce hydrosol.
Oh, of course, right.
And of course, Rosemary Caddy teaches that for adrenal fatigue. So I started a splash of black spruce in a glass of water. And when the glass of the water was done, another maybe teaspoon and a half in 12 ounces of, which is what, 250? No, that's it. Yeah, 250, 300 ml.
Yeah.
Just a splash, just a few mLs. And it tasted the way the woods smell, resinous and piney.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it tasted horrible. That sounds lovely.
No, it didn't taste horrible because I needed it.
Yeah.
I drank that for perhaps 48 hours. And then I didn't need black spruce anymore. Wow. I didn't need to inhale it. I didn't crave it. I still love it. And I started to get my energy back.
That's beautiful. I know I would never have thought of using that
what you will.
Absolutely. It's hard to put an answer to them, isn't it? All you know is it worked. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do know that it's a wonderful de-stressor. Most of the conifers are. If you haven't worked with them.
Not really, no. Okay.
Try Siberian fir. That's the most relaxing. That will put you to sleep at night. It's that high in esters. It's good for all of the conifers are good for respiratory issues, for chest things, not necessarily for sinuses, but for chest. By inhalation, most of them are child safe. So if you've got a child who's too young to use eucalyptus or peppermint or any of those, and he's got a congested cough, diffuse a little bit of Siberian fir. It'll help loosen up the cough, and it will help him sleep.
So, well, obviously, I do have one of those children. Now, normally, I'd use frankincense to do that. So, do you think it's better than frankincense?
I would try one or the other.
Yeah.
I would not use them together because they don't complement each other well.
They're
nasty together.
Yeah, close smells, aren't they?
Try. And Siberian fir is easy to find in Europe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It would be easier for you.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's say than the black spruce, which is Canadian.
Yes.
So look at Siberian fir. Try some of that.
I will.
Are you coming to Naha or coming to
I'm not
States for any reason?
No, I'm not, Marge, because you know me, I don't like to travel, and this year I've taken a sabbatical from traveling because it makes me so poorly, and so this was my kind of replacement for it. I get to learn from people.
Bringing the world. You're bringing the world to you.
I'm bringing the world to my living room usually, but the family is at home now, so I'm outside. But yes, and actually, do you know what? I've learnt more. I have learnt more than I do going to a conference, which is because obviously normally I'm standing on my stall signing books. So yeah, but I will come to the next NAHA conference definitely, and I am actually coming to Seattle in the spring to talk about the endocannabinoid system to Cynthia Tam's workshop. So I am coming to the States, but only once. So then I will look up black spruce then, because I'll be able to get it one time.
While you're in the States for that, we should look at some other appointments for you.
Oh, okay. Now there's a challenge.
I'm thinking you are the queen of roses.
Thank you. I am the English rose.
Because of all your books, of all your oil-specific books, obviously the rose is your major opus.
Oh, thank you.
We need to have you come teach about all the roses.
Well,
with some friends who host.
That would be very nice.
That would be nice. I can't justify a trip to Seattle for that topic. There are laws in this country and laws in this state.
Yeah, of course.
And there's some products that we can't afford to offer, no matter how effective they are.
No.
And so I can't justify a business trip to Seattle to learn about something we can't sell. That doesn't work. But that's a different issue for a different place.
It is. And actually, let's hear you talk about Rose. You've clearly read the book. Tell us about your experiences of Rose.
I will be talking about Rose. Can we have it at the end?
Yes. What would you like to talk about first?
I had some other oils I wanted to talk about first.
Go for it then.
That's okay.
It's absolutely fine. So which ones do you want to talk about first?
Let's go to neroli.
Yes.
We talked about neroli. And the reason neroli is specific for today, neroli is specific for anxiety.
Yes.
Did you know that? You
yeah,
knew that.
I do. Yeah.
You knew that.
And I find it's lovely for slightly older women as well. I find that sort of menopausal anxiety that I have all of the time. It's very good for that.
Any type of anxiety, truly. Most of it, the best neroli comes from the Mediterranean area. I don't think it's distilled from anywhere else.
I didn't know that. So whereabouts should we be looking?
Tunisia, Morocco,
right.
Possibly Italy or southern France, northern Africa, southern Europe, the Mediterranean.
It likes to bake in the sun.
It likes to bake in the sun, and that's where the true bitter orange trees grow. Bitter orange doesn't grow in North America, and what grows in South America is, it's labeled Citrus aurantium, but it's not the Amara. the true bitter orange that
I didn't. Do you know what? I don't think I even knew it was bitter orange it came from. I've always just thought orange and never really considered it. So it's specifically bitter orange.
The sweet orange blossoms are useless.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Useless. Yeah, I mean, you can't distill true neroli from citrus sinesus. Period. I don't know why. I'm not a chemist. It just, you never see it commercially. I don't know why. And it may be that it's like lilac or honeysuckle, these beautiful flowers that won't distill.
Don't do tremendous ones.
Sweet orange blossoms are like that. Yeah. Or it may be they are lacking whatever the component is.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what it is, so I say it's magic.
Of course, but it is magic.
It's the specific for anxiety. And even though it's a floral, it's got a lighter floral aroma. It's not lush and overwhelmingly feminine.
No.
Like tuberose or rose. So you can easily use it in a masculine blend if it's called for. Brides have always orange blossoms. Supposedly that's a symbol of purity. But what bride doesn't feel anxiety walking down the aisle?
Yeah.
Neroli helps. I've seen the hydrosol, the floral water, help children with back-to-school nerves. New mothers in labor. Associate who was terrified of flying, she would go into panic attacks, sitting in the airport waiting area before we boarded, spritz her with neroli hydrosol. It calms anxiety in pets. I can use it on one of my dogs. We'll go into a shaking fit when we go to the vet, when we go to the kennel, when we go anywhere that's not home. I spray my hands with neroli and wipe him down. I've learned not to spritz him because spritzing him adds to the anxiety.
Oh, bless him.
The smell of it, if I spray my hands with the hydrosol and just wipe him down, he settles.
Yeah, oh, bless him.
So that's neroli. That's one of the ones I wanted.
So actually, so I'm interested in that then, because I don't use hydrosols very much, Marge, at all, and I'm looking forward to doing Anne Harmon's lecture to learn more about them, because I have them and then don't really do a great deal with them. So, what sort of situation would you prefer to use a hydrosol than an essential oil with that?
With young children or animals.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
Because with a very limited range of, don't use with peppermint. I wouldn't spray a baby with peppermint hydrosol because it's still menthol. But the hydrosols are so gentle, they are safe with infants. With cats, you can't use so many oils with cats. Tea tree hydrosol. You can spray an animal with tea tree. You can clean a cut with tea tree hydrosol. They're gentler, they're safer. And you can just spritz the air around you. It changes everything.
I have to say, actually, the one time that I did use a lot of neroli hydrosol was when I was carrying Amy. There was, it was so hot, I was so big, I was not happy about being pregnant. I'm never very good at being pregnant. And it was beautiful. It was really lovely.
It just changed the world.
Yes, definitely.
For the emotional uses, if you can find a hydrosol, it works beautifully emotionally. And neroli, there are some lovely neroli hydrosols out there. Ian recently did a research project, or not Ian, I'm sorry, Laura Cantelli did a research project. And there's some not very good hydrosol out there. So,
so would you usually spray them or drink them?
Depends what it is and what it's for. Normally, I spray them. Some of them make wonderful skin toners. Rose.
Yeah.
You spritz them on spritz some lavender on your pillowcase at night. You can, if you've got a tired, cranky child, spritz them with some Roman chamomile, or just wet your hands with it and do this
just
to
a lovely
them.
stroke. Yeah.
And they'll settle.
That's beautiful. So what's on your list? It is, and I agree with what you say. It is magic. I don't care what anybody else says. You can give me as much chemistry as you like. It's just magic. So after neroli, what's your next one on your list? As your must
The
have?
next on my list, and we're building a blend here. So that's why we're going in order.
Right.
Vetiver.
Oh, yes.
Vetiveria zizinoides, or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Vetiver is from the root of a hardy grass that grows in all warm climates. You can find vetiver oil from Haiti. Haitian is the sweetest. From India, from Indonesia, from Sri Lanka, all that area. It's used to restore soil. The root system is so huge that it will help prevent erosion in heavy rains.
Did you know as well that it draws out heavy metals from the soil and even nuclear waste?
I did not know that.
That's in my book.
Those are not the roots that we are
absolutely right. No, that's exactly right. But
yes,
they do.
I need to stress that.
They do. They clean the soil.
But it is something to be aware of when you're sourcing. Why do I love vetiver? I love the smell of it. It's grounding. It keeps my head and my feet in the same general area because my head can be either bouncing off the ceiling or in the middle of next week. That keeps you grounded in the here and now. It keeps me from living in the middle of next week. It lets me focus on what I'm doing right now, what's on this plate, not what's on next week's menu. My experience with vetiver is that those who dislike it have either, number one, not had a good vetiver. It should not smell burnt.
That's
if
right,
it smells burnt, if it smells like last night's campfire, it's a bad distillation. Get rid of it, send it back, get your money back. It's not good vetiver. Other than that, those who dislike it do not need it.
Yes.
Our bodies know what we need. My friend Janice, 20 years ago, she was the best scent blender I know. She was a cosmetic. She did body powders and perfumes and things like that. She bought a lot of my oils in bulk. She'd buy a kilo of sandalwood and a kilo. She bought some vetiver. Marge, it smells like dirt. I don't like it. Well, of course it smells like dirt. It's from the earth.
It is the dirt.
Janice is the most grounded person I have ever known.
Yeah, and I find as well people who feel uneasy around very masculine men find it difficult because it's a very, very masculine kind of fragrance, isn't it? I find that people sort of recoil. Kids who are a bit scared of men recoil.
And yet blended with other oils.
Oh, with orange. I love it.
Yeah. Well, in any of the happy oils, it keeps the happiness.
Yeah.
But it keeps you in the present.
It's very tranquil, isn't it?
To another. I'm talking about anti-anxiety again.
Oh, go for it.
Here we go again. And this is one whose name I tend to trip over, so we'll hope I get it right. Petitgrain Bigarade.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's good, because I was going to say to you when you were talking about neroli, I don't know what bigarade means, or bigarade, or what is it?
Okay, the specific, I don't know the translation of the term bigarade. Somebody go to Google Translate and enter the term bigarade and see if there's a translation.
Bigarade, maybe.
Christy's at her desk.
Thank you, Christy.
She's going to look up bigarade right now. It is from the same tree that we get our neroli.
Yeah.
Cypress aurantium, variety Amara. I think Amara means love.
I think it means love as well.
Love.
Yeah.
It's some variety of that. It's the leaf of the bitter orange tree. Now, for the uses I'm talking about, it must be, your neroli bigarade must be from Italy or the Mediterranean area. There's a lot of neroli on the, Petitgrain on the market from Paraguay.
Oh.
It is often labeled Petitgrain Bigarade, but properly it should be labeled Petitgrain Paraguay, because it is from what is properly called the bittersweet orange.
Oh, so it's a different fruit. Oh.
No, it's from the leaf, but it's the leaf of the quote unquote bittersweet orange.
Yes.
Not the bitter orange.
Yeah.
The chemistry is different. The South American oil, it has a different aroma. Well, it should. It's from a different tree. Yeah. It's not from the bitter orange tree. It's from the bittersweet.
Is it sweeter?
I don't know, sweeter. To my nose, it's not as clear. It's got a muddy note to it. I don't care for it, and I've resisted using it for years. 20 years ago, we had Italian Petitgrain. My source stopped producing, and all that was on the market was from Paraguay. And we offered it, and I didn't like it, and I didn't use it. And then I found a beautiful Italian Petitgrain Bigarade. Oh, this is what it's supposed to be.
Ah, right.
It's translating. Google Translator translates it to Bigarade, by the way, so we'll never know. If Marco or any of our Italian friends are here,
I'm going to ask Marco. I'm interviewing him next week, so I'll write that on my list. Yes.
Ask him what Bigarade means. Anyway, I was taught in my CCAP chain couple course that Petitgrain is a substitute for neroli, and I sat there in class saying, "No." Yeah.
You can't stop yourself going the same. We're going, no.
Because the Petitgrain that was being taught from Paraguay is not a substitute for neroli. None of them are aromatically, but it didn't have the anti-anxiety effect that I count on neroli for. But I was taught, and I'm a good student, so I wrote this down, that Petitgrain is useful for monkey mind.
Oh, yes. I have monkey mind
Do
a
we
lot.
know what monkey mind?
Oh, my goodness, I have 27 apes in my head.
You fell right to sleep, and you slept for 3 hours.
Really?
And now it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and your mind is doing because tomorrow I got to do this, and I got to do it next week.
I forgot about such and such. Yeah.
That's the hamster wheel in your head. That's what my teacher, Kathy Duffy, calls monkey mind. And I have shared about this, and I blog about it, and I think it may be in our product.
So this is the Italian one.
This is the Italian one.
Right.
Except no substitutes.
Right.
It's helpful for the kind of insomnia caused by a to-do list running in you. My experience is neroli doesn't help me sleep. But petitgrain is more relaxing than neroli. It's higher in esters. If you look at GCMSs, and I'm not going into chemistry, trust me, it's higher in esters. It's relaxing. We have an insomnia blend. It's one of the higher esters, lavenders, more relaxing, sweet orange, and petitgrain. It's safe. All three oils are safe for babies and toddlers if you want to diffuse them for a few minutes, or just put them in a little bit of a massage oil and give them a back rub. It's effective for adults. The proportions are proprietary, but blend to taste. It's a wonderful help you sleep blend. It brings happy dreams. Lavender, sweet orange, and petitgrain. And that's all I'm going to talk about, petitgrain. Now I'm going to talk about a blend in my experience, and it's the blend I'm using today for anti-anxiety. We call it Reunite with a slash over the
Reunite, so like reunite. Yeah.
It started off as a knockoff of a Valerie Warwood blend 20 odd years ago. She called it Reuniting the Whole, and hers was neroli, petitgrain, and sweet orange. And that, in that order, more neroli, less petitgrain, little bit of sweet orange. Didn't turn me on. We added a lot of vetiver for grounding. The final blend is 1/3 vetiver and 1/3 neroli, so it's expensive. And we added to the petitgrain sweet orange, we added a little bit of frankincense and a little bit of sandalwood. So actually we've got all parts of the trick.
Yeah.
And that was, we weren't thinking about the effect, we were thinking about the whole trick. The roots, the trunk, the wood is sandalwood, the sap, the resin is the frankincense.
Oh, yes.
And the petitgrain and the neroli. And
you know, I'd never thought of it like that at all. And Michael Scholes said the same thing to me yesterday. That's lovely. It's really lovely.
This was one of my first commercial blends. At my first ever public speaking event, it was a soap makers gathering someplace up north, Michigan, somewhere I forget, in the late 90s. I was asked to come up and talk about essential oil safety. Now, at one point in my life, I was terrified of public speaking. I could not stand up at a podium in front of a room full of people. I couldn't talk. I would tremble. I have a tremor now, but that's different. I'm old. My voice would quaver. I got a lump in my throat. I would cry. But I had to do this because nobody had ever heard of us. So
yep.
The speaker in front of me was talking, and I sat with not this info, a different one with Rainey during her whole presentation. I just sat there and did this.
Oh, bless you.
Breathe. Breathe. That's all I did. When I was introduced, this person who can't stand up and talk in front of people took the podium, shared my information, what I needed to, as though I had been doing it for years. No nerves, no panic, no shaking. Reunite, let me keep it together. We've had years of experience with this combination, helping others keep it together. I give it as gifts to friends who have a lot of anxiety, just free floating anxiety. It helps. It helps you keep it together. And sometimes we've got to be able to keep it together.
Yep. Sometimes it's just,
that's my experience. It's not, when I share my experience, quite often Nature's Gift offers the products that I'm talking about, but we offer them because of my experience with them.
Because it's worked
or
for you.
Because other people have taught me about them.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, that's why I'm giving the ingredients. I'm not saying rush out and buy this. I'm saying you have these oils, blend these and try it.
Have a go.
Okay. So this is not an hour-long commercial for my business. Okay.
I don't mind if it is.
Moving on. Moving on. Blood orange. Citrus sinensis, which is the same species as sweet orange, which is very confusing. It's got to be a different varietal, but they don't label it as a different varietal. You can tell the fruit when you cut a blood orange open, the inside is bright red, like ruby red grapefruit instead of orange. And the cold pressed oil is redder than sweet orange. It's blood orange is cold pressed from the rind. It's from Italy or the Mediterranean area, sometimes Israel. You see a common thread here with all that citrus oil?
Yeah, there definitely is, isn't there?
Yeah, that's where they come from. I have never read this in a book, but I have many therapists, emotional therapists, counselors, clinical social workers, people that don't give medication when you're troubled, they talk to you, that kind of therapist. They say that blood orange is their single most effective single oil for depression.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Really? Now, all of the oranges are spirit lifters. They're smile bringers.
Yeah.
Sweet orange is happy making.
Yes.
If you
it's bubbly like a party, isn't it? Yeah.
If your mood is flat, it will elevate it and make you smile. If you're depressed, I don't want somebody happy.
No,
if I'm depressed.
It's going to smack them.
With blood orange, it eases the depression.
Right.
It brings you closer to your baseline. It doesn't send you up here, but it eases the deep, dark depression.
Stabilizes you a bit.
There is no research that I can find about blood orange. If someone's in a position to do a research study out there, everyone listening, if someone's in a position to do a research study about specifically the use of blood orange with depression, contact me. I would love to see it followed up on, and I would donate
be very
products for
interested.
the research.
Yeah.
I want to see it researched. Now, there is published research showing that a blend of sweet orange, lemon, and bergamot was diffused in an institution with patients who were diagnosed with severe depression and medicated for it. They were either able to be taken off their meds or drastically lowered. The dosage drastically lowered.
Yeah.
So the citrus oils, they're smile bringers. They have
so important, aren't they? Because that's medication without side effects.
Yes, totally. I mean, you have to use it effectively. And once again, this is a case, you want to breathe it, you want to inhale it, you don't want to drink it, you water. No. It won't help.
No.
It may do harm for emotional use.
Yeah, you want to go straight to the brain.
Inhale.
Yeah.
Over and over again. Okay, we're going to change directions here.
Okay.
Angelica root.
Now, I love Angelica root, and nobody ever talks about it. I'm very excited to hear what you've got to say about it.
Wonderful. It's Angelica Archangelica or Archangelica, I'm not sure. It's grounding, it's soothing in a different way than vetiver. It may help stuff emotions. Now, one thing there's a warning if you're using it topically. It's a photosensitizer.
Yeah, it is.
You have to avoid it during pregnancy. That's another warning. So it's not for everyone. What I think Angelica does, and this is a mixed blessing, it helps you stuff emotions.
Yes, I think so.
Better or worse. It's helpful for smoking cessation. There's research for this. Jane Buckle has several case studies. It's helpful for smoking cessation because nicotine helps suppress emotions. So does Angelica.
Yeah.
So you get the same effect from inhaling Angelica. For emotional trauma, when this stuff that is too painful to deal with right now.
Yeah, it filters,
Angelica, it puts it aside. Now, it's not helpful in the long run. We all have to deal with the trauma, but sometimes you have to take the edge off to be able to go on functioning.
Yes. There's
a story that I learned at a gathering in Tampa. I was taught this by a new friend. The ancient Romans used to carry, the soldiers used to have Angelica root. They would wear it, the root itself, the herb, when they were running into battle. Was it ancient Romans or was it the Vikings, the berserkers? I forget. But one of the ancient warlike societies,
wow. Yeah.
and I'm sure that I will be contacted later.
Somebody will go, no, wrong. Yeah.
The warriors wore Angelica root when they were going into battle because it suppressed fear. How else could they run crazy, run onto a wall of spears?
Yes, because it makes no sense to be able to do that, doesn't it?
That's right. It took away the fear. That's an ancient use of the herb. The oil does the same thing. Now, I'm going to tell a story.
Go for it.
We created a blend for severe anxiety for one of our local hospices. I couldn't use, they wanted 2 anxiety blends, and I needed printed research backup for every oil I chose. So I couldn't use Ray Moody. There isn't research on every oil in it for anxiety. So I did my homework. We did 2 blends. This I said was blend number 2. It was for severe anxiety. And all of these are research-based for its anti-anxiety. Petitgreen Bigarade, Nerolina from Australia.
Yeah, I love Nerolina.
Yeah, sweet orange, bitter orange, and Angelica root. I created this for a local hospice. We had just created it. One of my staff, a sweet little woman, Roberta, who is in her 60s, she was held up at gunpoint in her parking lot of her apartment.
I remember you saying this now,
the thief said, give me your purse. Roberta did this. You can't have my purse. She grabbed the purse, pushed her down, and ran off. When somebody wants your purse, give it to them.
Give it, woman.
Anyway,
oh, dear.
We treated her the next day for bumps and bruises where she had fallen. 2 days later, she came to me and she said, Marge, I can't sleep. Oh. I close my eyes and I see his face. And I gave her this blend. I said, go home, smell it, put a drop on a tissue in your pillow, see if it helps. That night she slept. For the first night, she slept the night through.
Oh, goodness me.
She
It's
used
amazing,
it
isn't
for,
it?
She used it for perhaps a week, and then she didn't need it anymore. And she went back to using Arianidi when she's feeling anxiety, but it was for that temporary trauma. That's story number one. A friend of mine found 30, she found out on Facebook that her daughter had, out of state, had committed suicide.
Oh my goodness me.
And I heard about it from other friends, and she was with some of our friends, and I headed to her. I came by the office first, and I grabbed a bottle of this blend. We call it emotional trauma. I bought a bottle of this Angelica blend in a tissue. I got there, and I said, "Do you trust me?" She said, "Yes." I put some on a tissue, and I said, "Here, just sit and breathe this. Just breathe."
Poor woman. How does that happen to somebody?
She said she could feel the pain and the chaos draining out of her body. She felt like an hourglass with the same, the pain and the chaos and the stress just draining. And I gave her a necklace like this, and she wears it, and she's still, because this was relatively recent when it comes back to her. Not grief. I told
shock.
her.
I'm sure shock keeps coming back to her.
But the shock.
Yeah.
She just
awful thing to happen.
My belief on this, the Angelica root is key to this blend. It takes the edge off, and it allows the victim to work through the trauma rather than just curling up in a ball and withdrawing. Which is, I want to curl up in a ball and suck my thumb. We are hoping to get this tested in the VA hospital for PTSD.
Oh, wow.
I think it has a use for PTSD. So
oh, good luck with that. That's exciting.
I'm hoping we supply a lot of VA hospitals, but my contacts are the purchasing agents. I need to talk to the nurse.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And bridging that gap is a challenge. Anyway, we're going to move on. Rosa Damascena. Rose Otto, which is distilled, CO2 extracted, which is a new technology, and I adore it, or Rose Absolute, which is solvent extracted. I'm looking at Rosa Damascena. There is also a Rosa centifolia. That's sunshinier, happier, lighter.
I like centifolia, I have to say.
I love the centifolia. But when I need Rose, I reach for the Damascena.
And are you an Otto lady or an Absolute lady? Or a CO2 lady?
I prefer the CO2 because...
Do you know, I've never seen a CO2. I've never seen a Rose CO2.
We will deal with that.
Yeah, I'm an Absolute girl.
You're going to have to email me your address.
Oh, I'd love that.
I see a sample pack in your future.
Do you? Anyway, what a lovely gift.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Let me talk about Rose.
Yes, do.
You are the expert at Rose. I probably won't tell you anything.
You're making me blush. Don't do that.
So, people out there, Elizabeth has written a Blue Million ebook. She's written about She's written a little book about it. She has written a big, exhaustive ebook about Rose.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend it highly again.
Oh, thank you.
Except Elizabeth, you keep talking about Persian Rose from Iran.
I can't find it now. No.
I can find it, and then I have it GC'd.
And you don't like
real.
It? Oh, there we go. Right.
Every sample I have had tested has synthetics added.
Wow. But then we are talking about what they use in the mosques. And so that is what they use in the mosque.
I know, but
it is a shame, though, isn't it?
I'm just saying what I have been unable to source a
It would
pure
be lovely to have one, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I keep trying. I
Right.
keep hoping.
I will keep my eyes
And
open.
I'm keeping the chemists in business by throwing samples.
Are you? How funny.
Anyway, let me talk about Rosa Damascena, which can be from Turkey, which can be from Bulgaria, and that's personal preference. They're both good oils. Mm. It is the oil for women of a certain age. Yes. It's wasted on the young. Do not give a 20-year-old child a bottle of rose. She won't like it. She won't appreciate it. It's wasted. It is for mature women.
It's the oil of the crone.
Pardon me?
It's the oil of the crone.
Yes. I hadn't thought of that.
Yes. Now I am a crone. I'm allowed to say
you
this.
are an official crone. People were calling me a crone decades ago, but I have been a crone for a long time.
I'm a harridan and a crone, but you're right.
Let's say perimenopause on.
Yeah.
You can approach rose in your 40s. If you just turned 30, don't bother. Anyway, I'm going to talk about it. Absolutely nothing supports a woman's spirit like true rose in very low dilutions. You don't need much. Undiluted rose otto does not smell good. It's overwhelming. It's not pretty.
Sickly, isn't it?
Yeah, it's yucky. A 1% dilution is enough to have an emotional effect. 5% is plenty. You can wear 5% as a perfume. Mm-hmm. Okay. I recommend it for grief. It brings solace. A lack of confidence, which isn't the same thing as anxiety and fear. It's I can't do this. For forgiveness, for self-forgiveness, blend it with a whisper of spikenard and frankincense for forgiveness. That's the
a good
trio.
Idea. Yeah.
Rose, frankincense, and spikenard. It's both for forgiveness of others and forgiveness of ourselves, which tend to go hand in hand. Sadness, which is different from grief. I think in the olden days they called it melancholy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Rose, any condition where you need emotional support.
I agree. The only thing that I would add to that, though, I think you're right about it's not a young person's oil, but I can't think of a better oil for somebody who's just had a baby.
Well, yes.
Postnatal thing, I think be careful not to cancel that out because that's very important.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. That's the exception because it will speak to her
to get the woman back.
Woman.
Agreed. Yeah.
I've got some stories to tell about Rose.
I'm excited.
Some are pretty, other people have done this. One, if somebody else were to tell me the story I'm going to tell you, my response would be, right.
Hey, I like those stories the best, Marge.
It is my experience.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it, so I'm going to share it. But first, in 2002, I was widowed. A lot of our clients, maybe somebody listening, might remember that. I still have the emails. They all wrote me.
How lovely.
In sympathy. When my Albert left us, he had a long, painful battle with cancer, and it was over. I got through the grief by surrounding myself with rose, we developed a powdered bath oil with rose, and I bathed in it. You know, the cliche, the bath oil, the candles, the soft music, it works. That's how I nurtured myself through the loss of my life partner.
Yeah.
So that's one personal anecdote. Now, are you ready for a story that is woo-woo and supernatural?
I love me a bit of woo-woo. Go for it.
Okay. Now, first of all, I'm very down to earth. For a matter of fact, I don't do woo-woo. I'm colorblind and tone deaf to energetics on a conscious level. If you shared this with me, I wouldn't believe you. I'd say, yeah, no, you're off your meds. But it's what I experienced using rose. This took place in a class I took with Kathy Brewer and Florian Berkmeyer. You can find them at Aromagnosis. That's AROMAGNOSIS.
They are speaking. I'm interviewing them tomorrow.
Oh, wonderful. They are amazing.
Both
this
of them.
happened in their class. Another note, I don't visualize. I hear things. When I'm told to visualize, like, let's say we're doing a group meditation. Visualize yourself at the seashore. Excuse me, no. I will be mentally. Oh,
you're an auditory person. That's like me.
The waves are coming.
Yeah,
I will
can do that.
Describe it, but I can't see it. I can't hear it. I can't feel it. I can't put myself there. It's all mental chatter. We were in this class. The goal of the class, the goal of much of their work, is to help us learn things about ourselves that are hidden, that we hide from ourselves. I was terrified. I wanted to do the work, but I was afraid of failing. I can't do this. My mind doesn't work this way. And I had taken another class with them, and we all saw I struggled. I couldn't do it. We're doing an exercise to help us see the unseen. We're told to choose one oil to accompany us. We had brought a collection of oils with us. One of mine was Rosa Damascena, CO2 5% in a jojoba, frack, I don't know. We were told to open it because it would accompany us on this journey. So I sat like this with my eyes closed, breathing rose. And I breathed that rose. I may cry during this. I had the most extraordinary sensation. I was being wrapped in a big white down comforter and held safe by the rose. I have never experienced anything like that.
I had an experience like that with Spike and Marge before as well. It is extraordinary, isn't it?
Spike held you safe. Then we started the exercise. And I'm holding my bottle of rose CO2 and I'm writing because it's a written exercise. This is real personal. I don't believe I'm doing this.
Take your time.
We were to have our chosen oil accompany us, and we were to connect and experience ourselves on different levels. Florian is a Jungian psychologist, and he teaches Jung's theories, and I don't believe in Jung's theory. He teaches the collective unconscious. I don't believe in the collective unconscious. Okay? I'm down to earth here now. So we're doing this first, connection with our physical body. And I became intensely aware of all the things wrong with my body.
Really?
Because I was connecting with it negatively. Yeah. And Rose spoke to that awareness.
Yeah.
And said that I was okay, just as I was. Yes, this is happening and there's this, but that's okay. It's okay. You're enough.
Yeah.
Then we go to the emotional body. And the emotional body is fear, because I can't do this work and I don't know what I'll see. And Rose reassured me.
Wow.
Said it's okay to be afraid. You can keep going. We did the mental body. You know, mine is a hamster in a wheel, always running, always busy, blah, blah, blah. A friend once said, you never stop thinking. And I said, of course not. Does anyone?
No, I know, yeah.
People stop thinking.
They've got black space. I don't understand black space.
Rose said, when I'm doing my mental body hamster wheel, Rose said, you may rest.
Oh, goodness me.
We went through the other levels and we come to the collective unconscious. Now remember, I don't believe in the collective unconscious, but Florian does. Off we go. First, I saw only swirling darkness, storm clouds, dark and ominous. And that was the collective unconscious. Maybe because I'm pretty involved politically. Dark and swirling and not pleasant. And then Rose helped me see points of light.
Really?
There were two all over the globe. And they were names, and they were people that I knew, and people with integrity.
Looking out for you.
There was in the UK, over there in the UK, it was you and Jane.
Oh, really?
And in Arizona, it was Lola King. And on the West Coast, it was some people I love and trust. And up in Maine, it was all over the globe in the darkness.
That's incredible.
Light, and they were people who carry the light in the darkness. Rose reminded me that they were there carrying the light.
I am so blown away by that and so touched that you would see me as a light.
Me who doesn't visualize. Me who doesn't visualize.
How did you feel afterwards?
Drained,
yeah,
exhausted, and in awe.
Yeah. So I'm fascinated now. How did you get onto to focusing on those different levels in meditation?
That was the exercise Kathy and Florian did.
That's extraordinary. Class. Yeah.
It was a class. They do a class on use aromatherapy for healing alcoholism, addiction, and trauma.
Yes, and that's what Florian's going to talk about tomorrow.
It's not a this oil for this.
Yeah. Which
is how I work. Oh, you've got a headache, use this oil for your headache.
Yeah.
I learned, I've spent 20 years learning what oils work for what.
Sure.
This isn't that. It's doing the inner work.
Yeah, yeah.
To release the trauma.
Yeah.
That's what they teach. I can't recommend their class highly enough, but don't go thinking you're going to learn what oils will treat alcoholism.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's kind of the whole point of the summit, really, that we can always recommend something for a physical situation, but if the emotional stuff hasn't been addressed, then it's going to come back. You know, you have got
it's
to do
going
that
to come
work.
back in a different form.
Mm.
And their work is fascinating. It doesn't come easy to me. I struggle with it. So I'm planning on taking this same addiction course again this spring down in Plant City, Florida.
Mm.
The same exercise. I want to do it again.
Mm.
I have a hard time justifying having my business send me because I don't bring back a whole lot of takeaways for nature's gift.
But your learning is a takeaway.
I'm learning, and I'm growing and changing. I'm healing me. They do amazing work.
Yeah, so Florian's talking about exactly that, about his addiction course and about the medicine that they get involved in with that. But Kathy's doing another talk about menopause, funnily enough, the alchemy of menopause. So we're kind of exactly on the same wavelength, that we're both on Rose here. Very interesting.
Well, I cannot recommend their courses highly enough. But again, for menopause, we all have oils we recommend for menopause. There's clary sage, and there's geranium, and of course there's rose, and sometimes there's fennel, and there's this and that and the other thing. But they're not, this isn't what this course is about. This course is Jungian's alchemical framework.
How you change.
How you change. And I can't wrap my head around it. Well, you're not supposed to wrap your head around it. You're supposed to experience it.
Living
I don't want to feel it.
No?
I want to understand it. And it's not to be understood.
I don't know, because I think once you assimilate that information into your psyche, then you do feel like you understand it. That's what comes with experience, isn't it? That's how trauma makes you a different person.
Yes.
That's how sympathy becomes empathy.
There is, no matter what we have experienced, no matter what pain is, no matter what the trauma is, if we do the work to recover from it, and we have to do the work, then we can share our experience with others coming up behind us and help them through it. That's the gift behind the hard stuff.
Definitely. Well, that was absolutely beautiful. How do you feel about sharing that now? You must feel exhausted.
I am. I'm done. We were going to talk some more, but maybe we can give them the
You've got
PDF.
yes, and you did me a lovely PDF, and so I'm going to put that for people to download, because otherwise we'll have no sunshine left. It's getting darker and darker.
Oh, and you have to go. You have a family. But I am just so honored that you asked me. I felt. Pardon me.
I feel so flattered that you're here. I really do. But I want you to tell people about your business in case nobody shops at your store, because I send everybody to Nature's Gift, but I just want everybody to make sure that they do come to Nature's Gift. So tell them a bit about the business.
We are an online business, www.naturesgift.com. We can put my logo on the PDF maybe.
Yeah.
We supply the highest quality I can find of a huge range of essential oils. We have at any given time probably 180 different oils. Most, but not all, are independently tested, and the GC is there for download on our website. We supply hospitals, we supply hospices, we supply VA hospitals, we supply several training courses, and of course, impassioned amateurs. We are not for the bargain hunter. If you want to save money, no. We give a lot of information about the oils we sell. We try to guide you to the correct choice. We welcome you to request samples with an order. If you don't know which is your favorite lavender, ask us to send you 3 or 4. and we will.
That's
That
lovely.
way, we want you to love what you buy.
And do you ship overseas?
We do, but it's horrifically expensive.
Yeah, well,
We're not a good source. We have some brave souls, but overseas is just, we haven't found a cost-effective way to do it,
no.
that the oils don't disappear.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and of course, when you send to the UK, you end up paying import taxes as well if anybody's thinking of doing it.
It's horrible.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It happens to me a lot.
We do a lot of wholesaling in China.
Right.
I'm not sure why, but it's, at this point, it's a quarter of our business.
Wow.
The Chinese people love my oils. We are the sole supplier for the holistic school in Kobe, Japan, which is a major aromatherapy school in Kobe. In fact, they started Kobe, which is their own aromatherapy company, and they sell all of our oils and a few Japanese productions under their label, and I have to find out about those. But yeah, so we do international, but it's probably better to be done wholesale.
Yes, yes.
So,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything else that you want to tell people before we say good night?
Yes, and they will see this on the last page of the PDF. I was truly honored to be asked to share my experience with you in this wonderful summit. Oh. I'm so glad you thought of it, and I'm so glad you included it. In the end, aromatherapy is all about healing, whether we're soothing a physical pain or inflammation, easing a physical scar, alleviating the sensation of physical pain or injury, or easing pain of the heart, mind, and spirit. And thank you for letting me be part of your healing journey.
Oh, bless you. Oh, well, you were wonderful, I have to tell you. If anybody who's listening, she was so nervous. So you've done a tremendous job, even though the internet was against us all of the way. You were absolute professional.
Mercury retrograde. We should have waited till next week.
Kicking my ass, that's for sure. Well, listen, Marge, say bye-bye, and thank you ever so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you all. Bye-bye.